Hello, everybody. Welcome to A to Y. I'm your host, Caleb Ream. And, sorry, guys, but the big man's not here today. So you're going to have me instead.
What do you think is going on here?
I thought I'd take over your show for the day.
What? Welcome, my A to Y audience. I am your host, Addison Young, joined here by my co-host, who needs to relearn his place, Caleb Ream.
Jerk looking down on me.
Your attempt to take over the show has backfired. How do you feel now?
A lot backfires on me, so just about normal.
Well, we join you in person today. Caleb was able to make it. Thankfully, it's been a great trip so far. How do you think?
Indiana, wherever we're at. Where is this? Greenfield?
Greenfield.
Greenfield is, Indiana's a little bit farther than I would please from where I live in the middle of the fields, but... Well, now in the mountains, but, it's even further. It's about a 4.5, 5-hour drive.
Yeah, so he came to Indianapolis to go to a concert.
Yeah, I didn't come for him. I came for myself.
I'm irrelevant. Really count here.
No, but then we canceled this last week, and I was just like, hey.
Stuff happens. We had to push back the show, but we're here in person. It's going to be a good one. We actually did research for today's show. Can you believe it?
I know. We even made a skit and everything, and what did it take? An hour and a half? Almost 2 hours to put a 30 minutes?
30-second clip together, yeah?
No, the whole thing, 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh. The recording of the skit we just did, which will be on the YouTube channel, you should check it out, took way less time than the actual act of sitting here trying to think of what to do. Yeah.
We will say that. What are you shaking your head at me for?
I'm shaking my head at the camera.
Oh, he's looking at you. Hey. It's a lot harder when you're older to come up with concepts that when you were, 9 or 10, you could have come up with like that.
Yeah, thinking of what to record took way too long.
Yeah. So the product that everybody will see once this is done was about 2.5 hours of brainstorming for a little 30-minute clip.
The drive down here was 30 minutes.
Yeah. We weren't even thinking about that then.
It is currently 3:30, and so yeah, it took about an hour and a half of just trying to think of what the heck to do.
Yeah.
Where did our imaginations go?
High school kills the imagination.
High school does kill the imagination.
That is the point of high school, is to take away every individual's person's creativity and mold them into society.
Yeah. That's metal.
Yeah, well.
Well, we do have a point today, as Caleb has crashed the studio, and that is what this is called. But I was perusing memes, as I usually do, and I came across this quote, and it said, "God is in control, but he doesn't expect you to lean on a shovel and pray for a hole." That hit me different.
Yeah. Well, I was here, so...
You were here when I pulled it up on my phone.
I know, it hit me too.
No, it kind of... I mean, do you want to talk about, what comes to mind when that is read aloud? Or when you...
When I first heard it, when he was reading it, the first thing that came to mind for me, personally, was you have to put an effort into your walk, and when you're putting effort into somebody else's walk as well. You can't... They talk about, placing a seed in the different soils, of your spiritual walk. You can't just place a little bit of a seed and expect it to grow into, something miraculous. You have to keep feeding it a little bit at a time. And we talked about this actually earlier, I believe. You can't overdo it, though. You can't shove a whole lot in somebody's face at once, or, in your whole life at once. It's something you have to do over time.
Yeah, we talked about the principle, the biblical principle of you only reap what you sow. You only get the rewards that you put in the work for. That's truly a biblical principle. Mm-hmm. We have a couple verses here today. Let's see here, such as Proverbs 13:4. The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly rewarded. And, it's a biblical principle to work hard, and you only get what you've earned and what you've deserve, truly.
Yeah. Yeah. Now everything's the lottery, you know?
Nothing's the lottery. Even the lottery isn't even the lottery. You only
I know.
get like 50% of what you win.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, like the other 50% goes to taxes. I'm not even joking.
Suck back into the world.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, it's true. You do only get in what you put out of it.
And this kind of goes along with the message we already did about chariot walking. But since you've already kind of brought this up, when you're trying to lead someone, and you talked about how you have this individual where you can't evangelize to them and bring them to Christ yourself, but you're hoping that through patience and prayer that others will be able to come into their life and that they will be able to lead them to Christ. Am I hitting the ball here?
Yeah, yeah. It says up on the screen, you don't have to be the superhero in somebody's walk. The goal is not for you at the end of the day to say, hey, I converted somebody today. Or I got somebody to listen to a Bible verse today. There's a lot more on the line than just your pride. You're talking about eternity of somebody. And, you'll do whatever it takes. If it's not you, you pray for somebody to be brought into their path that will, appeal to them and hit it from an angle that they can relate to or they're open to. Because, we talked about this when we were discussing that earlier. You witness to somebody over and over again and they just want to have nothing to do with you. You want somebody else to maybe take your place in a different way and kind of go off of what you've built them up or have witnessed to them. That's what I think. What are you?
Well, as you were talking, I just started to think of this quote again of, God is in control of everything, but you can't expect to just lean on that shovel and pray for a hole. When you're trying to bring someone to Christ and you're like, all right, I can tell that, they're not going to listen to me. I just hope that someone does it. That's not going to really do a lot. And if you're the other person on this other side and the call comes and he's like, God's like, you got to start evangelizing this person. Don't be the one to just sit there and be like,
somebody else will get to it.
I'm sure someone will get to it. Don't worry. The classic, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, no, you got to step up then in that moment. You got to start digging because otherwise that hole's not going to be there.
Yeah, that's true. It is. I was trying to think of something that just came to mind, but I'll retouch on it here in a little bit. We don't have enough time. No. What you said is true. You don't know if there is a tomorrow. You don't know if there's a next minute or not. You can't put something that important off. You can't live by the world's standards when doing that either. They're going to judge you, no matter who you are. Somebody who doesn't believe as you do will have first thoughts about what you're saying and about you. We go back to the whole, you can't shove it in their face, You just got to feed a little bit at a time and hope that others will help you do that. I mean, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's important.
It's important to drive this message through to you guys that, patience only goes so far, and at some point you will be called to action, and when that call to action comes, you got to step up and you got to do it. No matter how uncomfortable or potentially dangerous it really is.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's very good.
Well, with that, I think we'll end this week's message. Thank Caleb Ream here. Got your name right and everything.
I know, right?
For coming out here.
I got to start the show off, kind of.
You got to launch the show and his attempted invasion. And we'll join you guys next time.
See ya.